Everyone, Jesse Webb, Traders Pro. Market conditions bullish in a bull market still, which indicates that we should be having our a bullish bias, buying long, and looking for opportunities to the upside. We had momentum, which shifted all the way up to that upper range. It's that red line right there, and so we're in that upper range, but pulling back just a little bit. And as market conditions kind of top out like this, they don't necessarily always reverse, but they can just pause and have a little bit of a sideways action for a number of days. So we're seeing that currently. We did see the buy-sell ratio also continue to expand to the bullish side, again, which is a positive note. The only issue right here is that we are towards that upper end of that range, so that might put a little bit of a shorter-term damper on continuation of the real powerful rally. They just don't go straight up, so we need a little bit of time here to digest that move that we've had recently. As NASDAQ 100 topping the leaderboard here in terms of the average rank, #1. So we're just seeing real strong move in NASDAQ 100, 40 of those in that current uptrend. Just to take a look at some of the leaders in there, you can see Netflix, Nvidia, Broadcom, Intuitive Surgical, Microsoft, Apple, Google, Tesla, Cisco, all your mega cap, big cap tech stocks are in that list. So continuation of that overall trend is working. The new buy list, if we take a look through that new buy list and see some of the stocks, we've got some good looking patterns. We're still seeing medical stocks in there quite a bit. And let's refresh all that. So we're just updated here. VKTX, medical biotech, it's had a big run, having another little confirmation bar right here. There were quite a few, again, more medical stocks, and that's just the current trend that we're in right now. TMDX, good strong confirmation bar right here, early in that buy range with a nice buy profile setup. That's a good looking stock. Stop loss right at the low. Again, that low is going to be about 6% lower right here. So that's a decent range to be able to have a confirmation bar, and you've now got your low point for your stop loss. And we've talked about that before. When we get a real strong confirmation bar higher and it moves that momentum all the way up to the extreme, and this is like 14, 15, 20%, those are a little bit harder to set up risk profiles on, setting your stop loss, because a 20% stop, even a 10% stop for some people is too much. But in this case, the bar naturally is creating an easy stop location. Good looking setup right there on TMDX. ACCD, tech stock here, good, nice looking confirmation bar. That's also in the top 5. There were a lot of good looking stocks. This is an interesting one, DMRC, where you have a really strong rally for a length of time, and then it's paused back down, found support, and then you get just this real strong confirmation bar again. Again, this one's not bad because it's 8%, a stop loss 8% to the downside, meaning that if it reverses all the way back down, then we stop out of that trade or we exit that trade. We don't want to wait and see what it's going to do. If it's going to bounce or find support, we're just going to exit and we're going to re-enter it just because the initial pattern failed. And that's what we always have to be prepared for that. Not every trade is going to move higher, so we have to make sure we're using risk management. It only takes one trade without a stop to have a significant loss and kind of blow out a lot of work that has built up to that. So always keep the risk management in check. DMRC, and that's a good looking potential breakout after a massive move as well. So a pullback. So there's going to be continued interest and continued momentum on stocks like these. Sometimes they do, run into resistance and bounce around here for a number of days, but sometimes they also just take right off. There were a couple other good looking stocks deeper in the list that I wanted to look at. And as I'm just scrolling through that new buy list, you can see some of those patterns. But it was this stock right here, VYGR. I like this one because of this pattern. I've talked about that when you have a breakout and a retest, and it's finding support here where it was resistance, now it's support. a relatively deep pullback. It's moved to the buy zone back down. Plus the fundamentals are amazing right here. You've got annual EPS, everything growing. You had not a whole lot of sales, at least based on that. Nonetheless, fundamentals have been solid over this last quarter and last year. Solid confirmation bar, 7% on that move yesterday. So a stop loss at 7.5% below that bar, or 7.5% total based on today's open, and then a stop loss at that bar right there in that location. It's a good looking pattern setup. Bullish market conditions, medical bio, which is the current strongest trend. That's probably the most appealing, even though it wasn't in the top rank. It's still a 98. So that's worth being able to go through, getting full access to the site, so that you've got access to that full list. Because sometimes as you're scrolling through those, the top 5 may not necessarily be the patterns that you want to consider, but anything in this list is going to be something that you could consider, because anything above 90 is a good, solid, strong uptrend. Keep an eye on those for today. That'll do it for today's update. Everyone have a great day today.